Namaste and welcome to a overview of Factories Act 1948. Let's understand the Factories Act through its components, starting from the scope of the Act and moving between health, safety and welfare of workers. The Act is applicable to a factory, and factory is a premises where a manufacturing process is carried on. While running on power, it will attract the Act if it employs 10 or more workers. When running without the aid of power, it requires 20 or more workers. Rules on approval, licensing and registration of factories are made by state government will apply to such a factory. Factory is a premises where a manufacturing process is carried on. What is manufacturing process? A manufacturing process works around an article or substance. It involves functions like making, repairing, finishing, packing, or treating the article. The purpose of a manufacturing process may be to use, sell, transport, deliver, or dispose. You will observe that IT industries remain outside the scope of Factories Act as theirs is not a manufacturing process. Now the third component is workers. As the factory is a premise where a manufacturing process is carried on by workers. A worker is employed in the process or in the premises, either directly or through a contractor, and at the same time with or without a remuneration. Let us move to the next topic of health. Under health aspects, we have the first item of cleanliness. What the Factories Act expects is neat and disinfected floor, proper drainage, regular whitewash, and painting with documentation. And next to cleanliness is the disposal of wastes and effluents. It is essential to have arrangements for disposal of wastes, dust and fume. We also have requirement as regards spittoons, latrines and urinals. Here the focus is on easily accessible, clean and hygienic toilets with the lighting and ventilation. Next comes the lighting and drinking water. Lighting every part of factory without glare and shadow to prevent accidents, and also safe and wholesome drinking water points is a part of the requirement regarding health aspects. The next parameter is in respect of ventilation and temperature and overcrowding. Fresh air circulation, temperature control through insulation, and space norms to be followed to avoid overcrowding at workplace. Artificial humidification is also one of the important aspects of health. The Factories Act expects to provide for humidification as per work process and regulation. Let us now move to safety of workers. Under safety of workers, the first aspect is factory involving a hazardous process. Whenever a hazardous process is involved in a factory, government approval has to be obtained in advance, either for setting up or for expanding a factory. Now that leads us to understand the meaning of hazardous process. Hazardous process is any process or raw materials or byproducts or wastes that are likely to endanger health of workers. Hazardous process industries are specified in the first schedule to the Act. Given a hazardous process being there in the factory, what special care is required on hazardous substances? The Act says procedures for handling, usage, storage and disposal of the substance are to be laid down. The factory should have an emergency and disaster control plan, and it should also disclose dangers to workers, publicize the measures among employees and the public. Now it also needs to take some health and safety measures. Machinery fencing, extra care on revolving or self-acting machines, guidelines for sump openings and dangerous fumes and gas are a few of the health and safety parameters to be looked into by a factory. It is to be noted that safety of workers is occupier's responsibility. Now that leads us to understand what is meant by an occupier. Occupier is one who has ultimate control over affairs of the factory. He may be an individual or a partner or a director or a manager who is appointed to be in charge of the operations of a factory. Having seen safety of workers aspect of it, let us get into the next part, which is on employment of women and young. There is specification on working time and change of shift. A working woman cannot be made to work more than 9 hours a day, and the working hours have to be between 6 a.m. and 7 p.m. and the change of shift of a working woman can be only after a weekly holiday. And the Factories Act also prohibits employment of young children who are below the age of 14 years. Here once again the Act talks about what can be the working hours for the young persons or child worker. It should be not more than 4.5 hours a day. No female child can be allowed to work between 7 p.m. and 8 a.m. Certificate of fitness to be possessed by the child worker, and the same has to be carried on person and a copy has to be available with the factory, provided the child is greater than 14 years, or it can be an adult who is above 15 years. That leads us to understand what is meant by certificate of fitness. Certificate of fitness is a fitness certificate issued by a certifying surgeon based on application by the candidate and employment proposal from factory. The certificate issued by the surgeon is valid for 12 months and may be revoked by surgeon for valid reasons. Let's also understand who is a certified surgeon. Certified surgeon is a qualified medical practitioner appointed by state government. He is entrusted with the examination and certification of young persons and persons working on dangerous processes for any factory or factories. It's also required for a factory manager to maintain a register of child worker, including therein the name, nature of work, shift, and certificate of fitness number and date in respect of every child worker. Moving from here, let's into the welfare measures which are proposed by the Factories Act. Welfare measures start with washing facilities, storing and drying of clothing. The Act specifies clean, separate and adequate screened facilities for washing. It also talks about sitting facilities and first aid appliances. The sitting facility is required to be provided for rest hours, and the first aid person who manages the first aid facilities in the plant has to hold a valid certificate. Canteens are required to be provided where workers are more than 250. Canteen can be set up directly by the factory or it can be through contractors. The factory also has to provide shelters, restrooms and lunch rooms. The requirement in this regard is that they should be adequate, lighted, ventilated and well maintained. And there is also a provision for creche. Creche is required to be provided where women workers are more than 30. It is for their children under 6 years. Every creche will be managed by women trained in child care. Lastly, the Act also prescribes appointment of welfare officers. Where the number of workers is 500 and above, the factory has to recruit as many number of welfare officers as are prescribed by the Act. That leaves us with one more aspect which is touched by the Factories Act, which is regarding working hours and annual leave. As for working hours, the Act doesn't allow to work more than 9 hours in any day, and on any day period of work not to exceed 10.5 hours inclusive of intervals. In a week, the working hours not to exceed 48 hours. Then the Act proceeds to talk about the weekly holidays and compensatory holidays. Factories Act specifies that there should be a holiday on one of the 3 days immediately before or after first day of the week. Where such a leave is deprived, holiday has to be allowed in the same month or within 2 months. It also talks about the shift duty, overtime and double employment. It says if a worker works for more than 9 hours a day or more than 48 hours a week, he is eligible for overtime wages. The overtime wages will be at twice the ordinary rate of wages. Simultaneously, it also says a worker is not permitted to take up employment in 2 places, meaning double employment is prohibited. There is a detailed provision about annual leave, leave carry forward and availing of leave. As for eligibility for leave, if a worker has worked for 240 days or more during the previous calendar year as an adult, he will get 1 day for every 20 working days during the calendar year. If he were to be a child, he will get 1 day for every 15 working days. Leave not to be carried forward, but it is permitted to be carried forward not beyond 30 days for adult and 40 days for child. Fully carry forward is allowed only where leave was refused by the factory. And During leave period, wages are payable and the basis for payment of wages will be the average earning in the month immediately preceding leave, and the Act also provides about advance payment and encashment of leave. Whenever a person proceeds on leave for more than 4 days, his salary for the period of leave will be paid in advance before the leave begins. As regards discharge, dismissal or quitting, a factory is obliged to make the final settlement before expiry of 2 working days from such discharge, dismissal or quitting. However, in case of superannuation or death during service, the settlement has to be made before expiry of 2 months. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your feedback.